What is up, guys? We're finally getting away from our UFC withdrawal. We got a fight night this weekend on Saturday night. It's going to be exciting. Also, what a day to be alive for Philly fans. Eagles 5-0. I have to give them a shout out. Have to give the Phils a shout out. Looking phenomenal in the playoffs. Guys, stay tuned. I'm going to break down all the action that's upcoming this Saturday night.
That is a which is fun, but you got to be ready for that. But it's no
And welcome back to another episode of Fist First. As always, guys, I'm your host, Steve, and we are streaming here on DSM Media's YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Guys, please do not forget to hit that like, follow, or subscribe button. That would be much appreciated. And as always, here on Fist First, we are going to start off with a little bit of news around the octagon. And I think this first piece of news here is very exciting for me, at least. And that's Alex Volkanovski is the official backup for that UFC 280 fight, that main event fight, Oliveira versus Makhachev. Volkanovski is serving for the backup if one of those guys drop off. I don't think either of them will. There's a lot of beef kind of heading into this fight, a lot of speculation that Charles Oliveira is going to not show up. I think he does. I think that fight goes as planned. But guys, Alex Volkanovski as the backup, that's an absolutely bonkers statement because last show I had said Alex Volkanovski is going to be your lightweight champion by the end of 2023. Guys, he could be the champion by the end of this year. Like I said, I do not think that anybody drops out, but if they do, it would be so fun to watch Volkanovski fight in Abu Dhabi on the 22nd. And guys, I say it time and time again in how many of my past shows. October 22nd, UFC 280. It's going to be an absolutely phenomenal card, especially if you're new to the UFC. Guys, do not miss that card. Get some friends, split the money, buy the pay-per-view. Going to be a great, great card. Now, another big name piece of news here. My last show, or 2 shows ago maybe, I said Conor McGregor potentially returning to the UFC probably in 2023. Guys, it looks like, now this isn't confirmed, but it looks like he's got an opponent lined up, and that's in Justin Gaethje. Now, of course, this fight is, Conor McGregor is moving up to welterweight, and obviously Justin Gaethje is in that lightweight division. So Gaethje is going to have to move up, which I don't really think is going to be a problem for him. The only thing that I see that's a problem is his gas tank. If he moves up, I think that would lessen even more. But guys, Justin Gaethje, Conor McGregor, come on. That's a great fight. Everybody knows Justin Gaethje likes to get a good start, likes to brawl. And in that's probably going to be a headliner. In that headline, both these guys are going to look to bring the action, and that's going to be a heck of a headline, a heck of a fight. Guys, I cannot wait if that happens. Again, this is only speculation. This is not confirmed. But it does look like it's most likely that Gaethje is going to be taking on Conor McGregor in his return come next year. Definitely keep your eyes on that, and I will keep you guys posted on if or when that gets confirmed. Now, we do have a fight night this Saturday, guys. I cannot wait. A 2-week hiatus from the UFC. These fighters are going to be looking to give the action back to the fans. And to be honest, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to tell you the notable prelims. I'm not going to break down each of them. And there's really only one prelim that I could see that's notable to me. And that's not to say that there's not going to be great fights on the preliminary card. I consider relevance. I consider names. I consider the action potential. And there's really only one fight that really gives that to me. And that's Rafael Asuncao taking on Victor Henry in that bantamweight division. To be honest, this is more exciting for me to watch Victor Henry fight, right? He's a very exciting fighter. He's looking to make some noise in that bantamweight division. He's close to being ranked. Victor Henry's a guy that landed 222 strikes in his last fight. Guys, he landed 222 strikes in his last fight. Not thrown, he landed that. A lot of people don't even throw 222 strikes in a fight. If that doesn't speak for Victor Henry's aggressiveness, I don't know what else does. And he's fighting a guy in Rafael Suncao who's coming in with a 4-fight losing streak. So Victor Henry's going to be looking to make some noise with a huge win and potentially climb up that bantamweight rankings. Guys, it's going to be a great fight in the prelim, and that's one that you definitely don't want to miss. Now, moving on to what I think is a pretty solid main card for a fight night, right? Not a lot of huge names, but guys, a lot of these fights have the potential to be fireworks, and I'm going to start right off with the very first fight. Misha Serkinov taking on Alonzo Menefield in the light heavyweight division. This could be absolutely fireworks, but I think a big thing for this fight to be fireworks is going to depend on what Misha Serkinov we see in this fight, right? Serkinov is a guy who likes to throw hands, but he does take it to the ground a decent amount of times. But the thing is, when he takes it to the ground, it's not a lot of movement. It's not a lot of action on the ground. And I think back, I believe it was 2 fights ago, Misha Serkinov took on Krzysztof Jotko. He attempted to take Jotko down 17 times in one fight. 17 times. He only landed on 5 of those takedown attempts. And when you sit there and look at the stats and you see 17 takedown attempts, you think to yourself, this is a boring fight, right? Because if you're attempting to take someone down 17 times, that means you're not getting a lot of you're not getting a lot of things done on the ground when you do take them down. So if he does that, it has the potential to be a little bit of a snoozer. But I don't think Serkinov's going to take this to the ground because he's facing a guy in Alonzo Menefield who also likes to throw, but he can also, roll with the best on the ground. In his last 2 fights, he has a combined 10 minutes of ground control. So I do believe that Serkinov and Menefield are going to keep this standing. I think it's going to be a banger. Both guys, though, are susceptible to the boxing game. So if this does stand up, I think we are likely to see a finish here. And if we do see a finish, either way, finish or decision, whoever wins, I think it's going to be Menefield. I do like Alonzo Menefield in this fight. I think he's better in his all-around game. I think he's more athletic. Menefield can beat him standing up. Menefield can beat Serkinov on the ground if it goes there. I think Menefield gets the win here. And I think it's going to be a knockout due to both of these guys' aggressiveness. So first fight, potential banger, fireworks. And I'm going to move on with another one, potential banger, potential fireworks. Jordan Wright taking on Dusko Todorovic in the middleweight division. And I spoke about aggressiveness, right? These 2 fighters, I'll start with Jordan Wright, is a very, very aggressive fighter. I think back to May 2021. He took on Jamie Pickett. Knocked Jamie Pickett out in 1 minute and 4 seconds. In that 1 minute and 4 seconds, he landed 33 strikes in 1 minute and 4 seconds. Guys, if that doesn't speak to Jordan Wright's aggressiveness, I don't know what else does. Now, here's the problem with aggressiveness. When you're over-aggressive, you tend to leave yourself open. You tend to become vulnerable. And you see that with Jordan Wright sometimes, right? Back in December, Jordan Wright fought Bruno Silva. Got knocked out by Silva in 1 minute and 28 seconds. It was a very aggressive fight. Jordan Wright, though, made himself vulnerable, got knocked out. Now, Dusko Tudorovic is a guy that can capitalize on that vulnerability. But, as I said, Todorovic is also a very aggressive fighter, but he's also a very streaky fighter. Todorovic can dominate fights, come out the next fight and get dominated, and then dominate, and then get dominated. I think about when he got rocked by Chidi and Njokuani back in May. First round knockout. Another fight that was very aggressive, but Todorovic made himself vulnerable, and that was it. So with these guys being super aggressive, sometimes over aggressive, guys, it should make for a very, very exciting matchup, and a matchup that is going to end in a finish. Jordan Wright versus Dusko Todorovic is not going the distance, guys. And I do like the underdog here in Jordan Wright. It's a very tough fight. Actually, I wonder. I am curious now. I'm going to pull up DraftKings real quick. I am curious to see the odds there because I think, in my opinion, this is one of the tougher fights for me to pick. And yeah, they do have Todorovic as a pretty moderate favorite though at a minus 205. Here, I can actually pull this up right now. It's actually a very interesting line to me because as you can see, a lot of live changes here. Actually, I got some of my picks in here. But yeah, right here, here we go. Oh. Here we go. This white one here. Jordan Wright taking on Dusko Todorovic. Jordan Wright's at a plus 175. They are giving a moderate favor to Todorovic. And guys, if you're kind of looking for a value pick in this card, I'm going to give you this one right here. Jordan Wright, I really do like Jordan Wright in this fight. I think he's going to win. Again, though, will his aggressiveness hurt him? Maybe, but Todorovic's aggressiveness can hurt him. So, guys, it's going to be an exciting fight. That's the second fight in the main card here. I'm giving the edge to the underdog and Jordan Wright. And time to move on to another potential banger, another potential fireworks fight. And this is Askar Askarov taking on Brandon Royval. Guys, this is probably my banger of the night. This is the 4th of July fireworks show. For those of you who don't know who Askar Askarov is, a lot of people think he's destined to become the champion come the end of 2023. In my last show, I said I think it's going to be Brandon Moreno. But it is a very high potential that late 2023, Brandon Moreno would have to defend his belt against Brandon Royval. Askar Askarov. So you never know. I don't think Askarov beats Moreno if that happens. But just to list a couple of names that Askarov has fought and has won against, he got Alex Pantoja. Askarov beat him in a very close fight, but Pantoja is a potential title contender as well. He beat Joseph Benavidez, dominantly beat Joseph Benavidez, I should say, because that's impressive in itself, is to beat him so dominantly, right? A former title contender recently. And then for Askarov, most recently, he fought Kai Kara-France. He got the loss in a very, very, very close fight. It went to decision. Kara-France got the win. But he put up a tough fight against one of the better guys in the division. And, with all the talent that I just said, with all the guys that he's fought, to be honest, I'm not quite sold on him yet as much. I'm not sold on him as much as other people are. I think he's a great fighter, right? He lands a high percentage of his strikes. He's very sufficient on the ground, or efficient, I should say. But he's not a finisher. And I think for Askarov to be a champion, he's going to have to finish. Right? I think of Leon Edwards and Kamaru Usman. If Leon Edwards doesn't knock out Usman, he's not the champion. He loses that fight. So if you want to be the champion, you have to be a finisher. Now, I will say, the flyweight division, you might not have... Yeah, obviously, you're not facing guys with a lot of power. You can get solid decision wins. But if you think back to all the action against, the last couple fights against Moreno and Figueiredo, I feel like those two guys are going to be most likely who Askarov's going to have to fight to win the belt. He's going to have to finish them, whether it's standing up or on the ground. So Askarov has to be a finisher. And it starts with a win here on Saturday night against Brandon Royval, right? Askarov's potential title run starts Saturday night against Brandon Royval. Royval's a guy who has not fought a lot of talent recently. His last fight, he got a first-round submission against Matt Schnell, but Matt Schnell's not a tough name in this division. So this is going to be Brandon Royval's first test in a while. And with that being said, I'm going to give Askarov the edge here. And I'm not really going against the statistics. I'm going to say Askarov wins via decision. And let's see what the odds are looking like for this fight. So we have Askarov sitting at a minus 240. Royval sitting at a plus 200. So that's a pretty moderate favorite for Askarov. I do like that favorite. Askarov wins by decision this coming Saturday. Now moving on to the co-main event. Another potential banger and a legendary name in Cub Swanson taking on Jonathan Martinez in that bantamweight division. Guys, another fun fight. Two exciting fighters to watch. Had to get my coffee in. I'm pre-recording here in the morning, so I got to get my coffee in there. But Cub Swanson, Jonathan Martinez. Starting with Swanson here. Very exciting fighter with pretty solid ground ability. This guy's a finisher. This guy now has to put on a show. Cub Swanson, his last 3 fights ended in a finish. He goes 2-1 in those. Here's the thing, though. A lot of ring rust potential for Cub Swanson, right? His last fight was all the way back in December. So he's around a year layoff, about 10 months. And he's facing a guy in Jonathan Martinez who's on a little bit of a hot streak. He's got 3 straight wins by decision. Jonathan Martinez throws a lot. He averages about 140 strikes in his last 3 fights. They've all been wins. So I would say look for this fight to be very, very active, right? Both of these guys are very active fighters. Now, Martinez, obviously, he has 3 decision wins, coming in with 3 decision wins. He's not really known for his finishes, where Cub Swanson is. And here's an interesting thing. Cub Swanson is predominantly an orthodox fighter. Jonathan Martinez is predominantly a southpaw fighter. What that means is there's going to be a lot of open shots. There's going to be a lot of vulnerable spots for potential knockout strikes. If I had to put money on it, this fight does not go the distance. And I do... Oh, wow, so it actually decreased. Cub Swanson was over plus 200. He's actually down now to plus 175. Guys, take the underdog. That's another value pick. I love Cub Swanson in this fight. And I love Cub Swanson by finish. I think that finish is going to be a knockout. So Cub Swanson's going to knock out Jonathan Martinez this coming Saturday. I am locking that in. Now for the main event. Another female main event. This is now back-to-back female main events. And it's Alexa Grasso taking on Viviane Araujo in that flyweight division. Because I'm not sure. I don't really like this main event. Mackenzie Dern versus Zhao Nanyan, that was a very good main event. That was a good 5-round main event, went to decision. I think you're going to see another female main event that does go to decision here in Alexa Grasso versus Viviane Araujo. Now, I'm not saying this isn't going to be a good fight. I'm just saying I don't think it's the main event. But nonetheless, it is. And I think this is going to be a more active fight than typical female bouts. Because both of these women like to throw. Alexa Grasso averages about 150 strikes thrown in her last 3. Viviane Araujo averages about 205 strikes thrown in her last 3. Right, so we are set to see a lot of action in this female main event. The only thing is, both women are not really known for their finishing ability, but they are very aggressive. So we could get 5 full rounds of action with no finish. So, hey, man, you know, like I said, I don't agree with the main event here. I think Askar Askarov versus Brandon Royval could have easily been the main event. I'm actually surprised it's not even the co-main event, but it is what it is. And I think we are poised to see a pretty decent main event nonetheless. And those odds are sitting at Alexa Grasso minus 215. Ah, hmm, it's tough here. I think I do like Grasso in this fight. I think she has better ground ability if this does go to the ground. Yeah, I'm taking Alexa Grasso here. I'm sticking with the favorite. I'm going to say by decision. I think it's going to go all 5. So that is going to wrap it up for that main carding. And what a fun, what an exciting main card to come back into after our 2-week hiatus. It should make for a good UFC fight night and a good co card, if you will, to that exciting UFC 280 card on the 22nd. Guys, I cannot wait for Saturday. And Slav and I will be making our draft picks. We will be getting back to that. We will be making that behind the scenes again. I do believe I'm up 5-1 this month. So can I extend my lead? Can Slav make a comeback? It all comes to Saturday. See what happens. Guys, stay tuned for our Monday show where I break down all the action that's coming up on this Saturday. As always, thank you guys for watching.